Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Friday Charge, brought to you by Geek Studios. As always, we are your hosts. He is Joel. I am Sebastian. And today, July 17th, is that the right date? Yes, 2026. We've got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about Honda. We're going to talk about Hyundai like 2 or 3 times. You're going to talk about California. We're going to talk about Toyota. And we're going to talk about a pretty sweet new Hummer. So without further ado, let's plug in and get started. All right, so our first topic of the night, Honda has pulled the plug on its only EV. So earlier this year, you may recall there were some rumblings that Honda would be discontinuing the Prologue, which is, as of right now, their only EV. And of course, the Prologue is just a Chevy Blazer in a different suit, but I digress. Well, those rumors started around the same time that Honda had announced that they would be pulling the plug on its upcoming 0 Series EVs as well. At the time, Honda claimed that the Prologue would not be discontinued and that news otherwise was nothing more than rumor and speculation. Well, guess what? I like how you scrolled up there. That was good. That was well timed.
It was?
Honda has announced that they will be concluding sales of the Prologue following the conclusion of the 2026 model year. This means that for 2027 at least, Honda and its luxury brand Acura will have 0 EV models for sale in the US. Honda's plan? To lean even heavier into hybrid powertrains. This move just continues to be interesting to me. When Honda canceled their 0 Series, they claimed that it was in part due to the brand's inability to be competitive in the current EV landscape. And they specifically pointed out that they didn't feel like they could compete against Chinese EVs specifically. So you canceled your future developments because you were like, oh, I can't play the game. And now you're going to discontinue the Prologue, which is your only EV that you have in the US, was one of the United States' favorite EVs in 2025, was consistently in the top selling EVs in our market. And I just can't help but feel like by now getting rid of your one and only EV and then canceling your upcoming projects, you're just going to fall further and further behind. Because while you're sitting here parading out only hybrids, your other automakers are going to be making better and better and better EVs and winning over more and more and more market share. And so then by the time you decide, okay, maybe I want to release an EV, everyone has moved on. And I mean, I know Honda will have some people that, Honda favorites, Honda fanboys, people that, oh, I only buy Hondas. That's great and all. But you and I know we're kind of entering a stage of the car market where brand loyalty is getting slimmer and slimmer and slimmer.
Mm-hmm.
People are not being as loyal to the legacy automakers as maybe they once were. People are more willing to shop around to get actually what they want rather than, oh, I've always driven Fords. Oh, I've always driven Chevys, whatever. And we've seen that trend. I mean, that's been a big move, especially we're actually seeing that trend now where people are brand loyal more for the startup non-legacy automakers such as Tesla and Rivian and whatnot. Anyway, but yeah, I'm guessing this is probably all licensing to, also licensing involved because, GM was building this car for Honda. Honda was probably paying GM to do it. Do they want to continue doing that, etc.? But it just feels like they're too busy focusing on right now and not enough on actually looking at, 4 years down the line or whatever.
So, yeah, I mean, it just puts their EV program more and more behind. Should they have taken the approach of Toyota where they just kind of just waited till all the dust settled and then slowly reach out to EVs? I know you got something about them later on in the episode. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if maybe, like you said, maybe they signed a licensing fee thing with Chevy and it was up after 3 years. Who knows? But I mean, it's a shame. They could have just kept the Prologue around. I mean, it sold over 80,000 vehicles. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot
Right.
in its lifetime. It's 80,000. And there's still more in the lots. So I don't understand what's going on. I don't know what Honda's doing. Maybe they're smarter than us, but I don't know. But just like I said, when they do come out with an EV, it's going to probably take them 3-4 years to do it. And by then we'll have Ford will probably be out by then. Chevy will maybe have their new EVs by then, and Subaru will be kicking it, and Toyota will be kicking it, and all the other ones. Rivian will have the R2 and probably the R3. It's just going to be harder and harder for them to break into the market. This would have been the perfect time to break into the market right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not going to. So it just kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of competition, not really. This is a terrible segue. The Ioniq 5N is getting cheaper. Hyundai announced that for the 2027 model year, the Ioniq 5N will continue to be available in the US, which is a bigger deal than you might realize. And it comes with some small changes, and it gets cheaper. So let's talk about those small changes. For starters, the Ioniq 5N will be moving to a NACS port. The 2025 and 2026 regular Ioniq 5s already had a NACS port, but since the N was being imported from Korea, it still featured a CCS port. Other changes are much more minor. The car now has a drift mode with 10 different levels instead of a drift mode with one level. It includes a combination level 1 and level 2 EVSE and AC and DC NACS adapters. There's also a new blue color. The big news here is obviously just pricing. For the 2027 model year, the car is now $6,300 less expensive. It will now start at $59,990. So, I mean, I didn't have too many other notes here. I do think it's cool that we're still getting this car. It also was not officially announced by Hyundai, but it's been leaked by dealers that they've been told that the Ioniq 6N will not be coming to the US. That was the whole thing. They discontinued the Ioniq 6 for the US market, but said they would still bring the N model over. And we were already skeptical of that because that means they're importing for one specific variant of a vehicle that they don't intend to sell in mass numbers. And is it really worth it to do that and pay tariffs and all that? And it sounds like we were right. Which is a shame because, I mean, I'm all for new EVs, especially new fast EVs, whatever. Like, give us some Halo cars, some trophy cars, whatever. But not too surprising that it's not here. And so that's why I'm happy to see that the Ioniq 5N is still coming around. There's been some uncertainty about the future of the EV6 GT, with Kia having delayed it and canceled it for model year and said they'll bring it back. And just, it's been kind of up in the air. It's good to see that its counterpart from Hyundai is still sticking around.
So, yeah, I mean, I can kind of see why they're not bringing the Ioniq 6N over. It's a smart move. I would like to see it, but they're not going to sell that many. And this is a good move by Hyundai. I mean, the Ioniq 5 is already the third best selling EV this year in the United States. So why not just keep pushing it? I mean, it's a solid car. You have one and people seem to like it. Plus, not an N, but you got an Ioniq 5. Yeah. But the N was fun to drive. I mean, look at these pictures. Look like they have maybe done a little bit of updating on the inside, but it's a fun car to drive. I mean, it makes insane noises that it doesn't need to make. And it's just a fun little car to kind of drive around town and play with. But yeah, any idea where is this still going to be manufactured in Korea? Or they plan on manufacturing it here since it has the NACS?
It's a good question. I didn't see anything talk about that.
Yeah. I looked here and I couldn't find it in this article from Electric either. So I'm assuming since it's NACS, they would maybe make it over here.
Are they going to be building it at the Meta plant? I don't know.
Oh, Meta plant? Oh, I think we'll get to that later, won't we?
Maybe.
Yeah, but cool idea. I wish we had some pictures of the blue one, unless you have some over there. All I have is the white one on my screen over here. So
yeah, all I've been seeing are the pictures of the old blue. I'm assuming that's not the same blue that they're doing now.
Mm-hmm. So kudos to Hyundai. Keep it up, and I'm glad it's cheaper.
All right. We're going to talk about the California EV rebate, which, Joel, you already did a podcast episode on. So I figured I would just let you kind of give the abridged version here.
Sure. I'll give you the Cliff Notes version. So yeah, California just passed a bill. I forget the actual number of the bill. But it's called the My First EV program. Sounds something like you would do like in kindergarten or something. And it's a little bit different than their previous program because this is an actual instant point of sale rebate up to $3,500. So you don't have to send in the paperwork or anymore and wait 2 or 3 months to get your check in the mail. It's point of sale. So this is $270 million joint state and automaker initiative. So that's the key. So of that $3,500, the automaker is responsible for half of it. So they're responsible for half, which is $1,750, and the state is responsible for the other half, $1,750. So it puts a little bit back on the manufacturer. So and the EV has to be under $50,000. There's our exceptions, and we'll get to that here in a minute. For used EVs, you can just get the $1,750 off, but it's got to be under $25,000. So a little bit more about how this is different too. We do a lot bigger. I do a lot better deep dive into this on the Wednesday episode. You can go back and look at it. So first off, there's no income caps, which that surprised me. So it doesn't matter how much you make, as long as this is your first EV. This does not include, this rebate is not good towards battery electric or hybrid vehicles. It has to be it is good for battery electric vehicles. It is not good for hybrids. So it has to be a BEV. No income restrictions, like I said. And then they have this thing called the state headquarters loophole. So the $50,000 price cap is waived if the EV manufacturer has a company headquartered in California. So Sebastian, you know who has two headquarters in California, and who is it?
Rivian and Lucid.
Rivian and Lucid. Guess who is not included on this list? The big T word, Tesla. Which I find it odd because, yes, Rivian and Lucid are headquartered in California, but they don't produce any of their cars in California. One's in Arizona and one's in Illinois. Tesla, however, they're not headquarters in California, but yet they still make vehicles in California. So that's a little bit different. So this program is administered by the California Air Resource Board, also known as CARB. And they have said once the money runs out, it's out. It's gone. So they haven't said when this will start up, but they said more information will be released later this summer. I just thought it was a little sketchy about how they did the whole manufacturing thing there to kind of help benefit Tesla and Lucid. So you can actually go out and get an R1T, and which is over $50,000, and get $3,500 off. So interesting. You have anything to add to that?
No, I mean, it's obvious why they did the manufacturer loophole. They're mad at Tesla because Tesla or Elon has been pulling a lot of their investment out of California and moving to Texas for whatever reasons. And so obviously the state's probably a little salty about that fact. So that's probably why the loophole's there. But you're not wrong. I mean, Tesla employs tons of people in the state of California. So meanwhile, Rivian and Lucid, they're building cars in California. They're not doing that. But I mean, cool to see an incentive come back. Cool to see kind of how it's funded and how it's being handled. Hopefully people can take advantage of it. This is also in a state, though, that already has massive EV adoption. So this, will push the needle for California, but it's probably wouldn't push the needle as much as, say, if somewhere, say, in the middle of the country were to do a $3,500 rebate.
Yeah. So what I'm interested is this is called the My First EV program. So it's first time EV buyers. But basically all you have to do is when you go buy it, you have to sign a form. Are they actually going to do they have the manpower to actually track down and say, oh, no, Sebastian, this wasn't your first EV. You don't qualify for it. Or is we just on the honor system? I'm thinking we're just on the honor system here.
It's a good question. So, I mean, in theory, the state would know what you've registered before.
Yep. That is
true.
So
when you're doing your registration and they have your driver's license number, that driver's license number is tied to your social or whatever else. True. And so when you're doing your taxes, or whatever, if you put down, you did a first time EV and they were to cross reference in the computer and say, oh, you've had a Tesla Model S registered to you before. That's an EV. You're out. I mean, It seems like it would be moderately enforceable.
But my issue is if I already own an EV and I buy one, my wife has never owned an EV. Well, it's not by household, so technically she could buy one, and we could still, if we lived in California, and get it. So yeah, I mean,
these are the same style loopholes people were trying to do for the federal tax credit as well. And it ultimately boiled down to, what does your accountant say?
Yes,
because was supposed to be on used EVs. It was supposed to have been. It was very, you can only claim the used EV credit once or every 3 years. But then there was speculation on, okay, but since I file my taxes jointly as a household, can I buy one and can my wife buy one? And did we both get the credit? And there was some parties that said yes, some parties that said no. Both parties, the IRS kind of accepted both parties, but it wasn't always for certain whether or not they would accept it. And so I imagine this is just a similar situation on kind of threading the needle of what is the actual law stating and what is the intent of the law.
Gotcha. And we've had a lot of comments about it too, about lease versus buy. Like if someone currently leases an EV, can they they haven't technically bought one. Do they still count and can go buy one? So there's a lot of crazy loopholes I think are going to have to work out.
In my opinion, based on what we've seen in programs before, leasing counts as buying usually.
Okay.
Is because, I mean, the vehicle's registered to you.
Yeah.
It's your vehicle.
Yep.
You pay for car insurance, whatever else on it. So even if you're leasing it, it's still your car. So, and I feel like that's, when we've talked about in the context of, say, the federal tax credit previously, even if you were doing the lease loophole, whatever, it was still counting as you buying, you kind of, in a roundabout way, you were signing the lease credit or the EV tax credit over to the manufacturer. So, yeah, it's messy. I mean, it is.
I'm sure we'll be doing another episode here in a couple of months or in a couple of weeks with the update to this. But yeah, just odd how they kind of stuck it to Tesla. And like I said, it was probably intentional.
Mm-hmm. All right, moving on. Hyundai has a new battery factory. Hyundai and SK On's U.S. battery factory, which was a $5 billion endeavor, is finally online. This new plant, once running at full tilt, should be capable of producing 35 gigawatt hours of battery cells annually. This is Hyundai's second battery plant to open in the United States this year. Its first was a partnership with LG and opened in April, although April was later than it was supposed to open. You may recall this was the plant that had the whole ICE raid happen, and they deported a bunch of people that were actually allowed to be here, and it was a whole hot mess express, and that delayed it to where it didn't open until April. Anyway, this new plant will be supplying packs for the company's new Meta plant, which also opened recently, which is a massive, gigantic facility designed for building EVs and just kind of future mobile technologies. Anyway, cool to see more battery production being brought here to the United States instead of doing imported packs or whatever else. It's more jobs, more U.S. manufacturing. It's always a good thing.
A lot of jobs. Once fully operational, 8,500 people with an additional 6,900 jobs to be created off-site. That's a lot of jobs for Savannah. That's a lot of jobs for Savannah. Savannah's a great little town too, so a good little place to put it there. It's on the port there too. So if they got to ship it out, they can ship stuff out. So pretty cool idea.
And the other plant was in Commerce, Georgia. So
I'm sure where that is.
It's 30 minutes outside of Atlanta, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So anyway, good on Hyundai. Happy to see more and more investment coming to the U.S. Toyota has delayed the Highlander EV. Late last week, Toyota announced that they would be delaying the upcoming Highlander EV. The Highlander EV is slated to be the brand's first 3-row electric SUV and is a shared platform with the upcoming Subaru Getaway and Lexus TZ. Those other two automakers have not announced if their new models will also be delayed. Toyota claims this delay is so the automaker can, quote, make additional adjustments before launch, end quote. Toyota expects to continue building the 2026 Highlander through the end of December, meaning there will be gas and hybrid inventory well into 2027. While, of course, Toyota is claiming that this is to make more tweaks, I and many other outlets believe that this is because they want to squeeze every last drop out of the hybrid and gas buyers before they make the Highlander model electric only. So far in 2026, Toyota has sold over 100,000 Highlanders and Grand Highlanders, compared to just 22,000 EVs just combined. So that's BZ, CHR, and BZ Woodland. So, I mean, sure, if they're making tweaks, I'll believe they're making some tweaks. But the fact that it sounds like we'll be delaying this into the 2027 model year. I mean, really, this just feels like they're trying to suck every last dollar out of their current line before they move into this new model that they probably assume is going to sell worse at the get-go.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. When I saw this, I was like, yeah, they're just going to delay this until they can, make some tweaks maybe to save, a couple $1,000s here and there. But yeah, they're going to try to squeeze every last drop out of their hybrid and gas Highlanders, which are solid cars. They're good cars. It'll be interesting to see when they actually pull the plug on those, but I think it's going to be late 27 when they do that. So
yeah, and I mean, I was shocked when Toyota announced that they were going to be taking the Highlander nameplate to EV only. You know, you have Subaru who's doing the Getaway, which is the same platform, it's the same vehicle, just with a Subaru badge on front of it. Subaru didn't make it the Ascent. They're making it a separate model so they can continue to sell the Ascent and the Getaway at the same time. You know, I wouldn't have been shocked at all to find Toyota do the same thing, right? It would have honestly made sense for a company like Toyota, who's been pretty cautious from the get-go, because what is the BZ if not an electric RAV4? You know what I mean? What is the CHR if not an electric, Corolla Cross? Is that the smaller one?
Yeah.
And then I guess the BZ Woodland is like the successor to the Venza, which doesn't exist anymore. Anyway, but Toyota very easily could have just created another model for the Highlander EV and then continued selling the gas and hybrid Highlander as well. So I was shocked just in the beginning that they were even doing this in the first place. Lexus is not doing it. Lexus is doing the TZ. It's an electric TX. They're still going to make the TX. Anyway. This is definitely just a cash grab, not even a cash grab from Toyota. This is just them doing what they feel like makes sense, honestly. But it also feels like it's a bed of their own making. They didn't have to do it this way.
Yeah. Well, do you also think it's because Toyota also has multiple other, gas-powered big SUVs? They have the Sequoia, they have the 4Runner, so they could lean back on those if they got rid of the Highlander? There's not really anything to fall back on for Subaru. They just have the Ascent, so they can't.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. That we still have the 4Runner, we still have the Sequoia, so if we get rid of the Highlander,
process.
Maybe it's not a big deal. So, yeah.
But also, if they've already sold, so far today.
Me, so.
Also, though, we've just kind of already said, so far in 2026, they've sold 100,000 of them.
Yep.
So it's obviously not a slow model for the brand.
Not at all. They're on track to sell 200,000 of them this year. So
yeah, it's like it's obviously not a poor selling model. It's not like they're it's like no big deal. Highlander can go away for a little bit. It's not a big deal.
We only sold 25 grand last year. We only sold 25,000 last year. We can let it go away. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like they're like it's some poor selling model or whatever. It's not like it's a Venza.
Yep.
All right,
and
our final. I really actually did like the refreshed Venzas, the way they looked and everything. But
do you like the Crown? I don't like the Crown. It looks.
I don't like
weird.
See, we're thinking of more gas Toyota SUVs. I had forgotten. I know. What is it? The Crown Signia? Is that what they're calling it? Golly, we're gonna fall.
It's the one that has
the
multiple colors on it that drives me nuts. It just.
Oh no! So that's the Crown, the weird sedan SUV thing.
Yes.
So there's also now the Crown Signia. That is like I can't even see it on their stupid website. Sorry, there it is.
Yeah, it looks like a Forester.
Kinda, yeah.
Let me show a picture of it here.
$45,000 vehicle.
Yep, I will show a picture of it. It kind of does look like the Forester. Let's share this screen.
I mean, what is, or is that their plan? Do they want to get the typical gas Highlander buyer to move to the Crown Signia because they look, at least on these side by side pictures, they look like they're pretty dang similar sized.
Yep. The front looks like a Lexus. I mean, yep.
So maybe that's their plan is, if you don't want the electric Highlander, buy a Crown Signia. That's the newer model anyway.
I agree. That's a smart move.
Interesting.
But $44,900 is not a bad price either.
Interesting.
All right, what's your final story? Script this story tonight, Sebastian.
Final scripting story of the night is there's a sweet new Hummer. GMC is celebrating 25 years of the Hummer brand, and as part of the celebration, they are launching a new variant of the Hummer EV, the 2027 Hummer EV Icon pipe symbol, the straight line, 25. This is a limited run variant, and the most obvious way to recognize it is the return of the Hummer H2's iconic yellow paint job. The truck gets some other special goodies, such as an exclusive jet black interior, some unique screen graphics, some serialized badging on the dash, and you get an exclusive keepsake. Whatever that is. The Icon package will be available on both the SUV and the pickup, and it's going to be available on the 2X and 3X trim level, which is a departure from the previous special editions of the Hummer, such as the Omega and the current carbon fiber, and there's been others before that, which those special editions were only available on the top-of-the-line 3X models. There are some other changes to the Hummer lineup as well for 2027. The vehicle, like GM's other model year 2027 EVs, is switching to a NACS port. There are 5 new exterior colors and just some like exterior tweaks, like some new wheel options and things like that. Otherwise, largely unchanged. The Hummer did just get refreshed for 2026, so not too surprising that they're not changing too much yet. Dude, the fact that they didn't have the Hummer available in this yellow color from day one,
I know.
it's kind of a crime.
I know.
This might be the best looking of any of the Hummer special editions we've seen yet. Don't get me wrong, the Omega Blue,
Bumblebee edition.
The Omega Blue was hot.
Mm-hmm.
But like this color just, it's Hummer. It just screams Hummer. It makes sense.
I love that back.
Oh yeah, with the wheel cover. Yeah.
With the little landscape. That's
the moon.
Cool. Yes, that is so cool.
Anyway,
leave that picture there for a minute.
This is not in my price range, obviously, which they haven't announced pricing fully yet. I don't think. I didn't see it when I was looking at this earlier. Let me just double check that.
It's not in most people's price range.
It's not in most people's price range. Maybe I'll win the lottery. We'll see. Why does it show me 2025 Hummer EV? What? What is happening with GMC's website? There we go, 2026. Where's the 2027? Come on now.
I'll keep showing pictures.
Icon 25. Here we go.
I'm going to stop sharing, and you can take it over if you want to.
Well, it's a defense. There is... Production will begin later this year at GM's Factory Zero. Will be sold in the U.S. and Canada. MSRP and additional information will be announced closer to production. Okay. So we don't know. I did all that looking just to confirm that we don't know.
Second guessing yourself.
I know. All right, Joel, what happened this week? Tell us. What did we release?
Well, it's been a busy week for me. I've been out of town. I've been at a conference all week. I just got back earlier today. So, yeah, I've been out of the loop a little bit with news. But Monday, we had a really great talk with Chris Bowe from Bowe Family EV. Shout out to Chris who joined us on the podcast. And I kind of moderated a little discussion between you and him just about the current state and future of EV adoption, kind of like looking into our crystal ball, kind of seeing, what's it going to be like in the next couple of years with EV adoption, who's going to hang around, who's not, who we kind of predict, who's going to survive, who's going to, maybe compete with Tesla. So really great discussion. It's a long one. So, if you can't watch it on video, you can listen to it on audio podcast, maybe while you're driving. But yeah, it's a really good episode. Chris is amazing to chat with. Always love chatting with Chris over Bowe Family EV. We need to have him on more because it was really that good discussion. So Chris, if you're out there and watching this, which you normally do, thanks for watching our episodes. We need to at least chat you on maybe once a month to just chat about a topic. So that was fun. And then on Wednesday, I released a video talking about the new California, my first EV rebate program from the luxurious Comfort Inn in Hot Springs, Arkansas. So luxurious Comfort Inn, Hot Springs, Arkansas. So if you're interested to know more about that or just want to help us get the views, go ahead and watch that episode. But yeah, and then next week, I think we're finally getting back to some car reviews. We got a review coming up this weekend that we're going to push out for Monday. You care to tell everyone about that? Or you want to keep it a secret?
Yeah, we'll keep it a secret for now.
Keep it a secret.
That makes it sound like it's way more exciting, but just in case something falls through.
Just in case something falls through and it pours down rain on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I don't think it's supposed to just be 100 degrees here next week. So we'll be nice and toasty on Saturday. So.
And the dealer has 2 of them. So unless they sell both of them before
both of them
Saturday.
between 11 a.m. today and Saturday, I think we should be good to go. So yeah, so we have that coming up next week. And then probably some more reviews coming out soon. Hopefully we're starting to get some more EVs in on these lots around here. And we'll have some more reviews coming out. If not, you get to hear me and Sebastian talk.
And as summer winds down, our schedules become a little bit more free.
Yep. No vacations, no birthday parties.
No vacation, no whatever. Since we both work in education, summer is when everything happens. I'm busy at work. You have to go out of town, and you have random PDs and just all. I got to
cram. You're a 12-month employee. I'm not, but I have to cram everything into like a 3-week period. So vacation, doctor's appointments, everything. I got to cram within a 3-week period. So and now I'm back on, and you've been back on. So our schedules, our personal lives, maybe it'll slow down a little. We'll get back to a normal schedule. But yeah, so if you want to check out 2 great episodes, check those out.
All right. Well, that is a wrap for today's episode. Thank you all for plugging into the Friday Charge. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube. And if you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your audio enjoyment, make sure you follow us on there, leave us a rating, like, thumbs up, comment, whatever the platform does. They all do something different, but no matter what you do, it helps the show grow. So long, everyone, and we will see you on the next episode of the Friday Charge.